to good morning to everybody. That's because I have to say I have to say good morning because we got Penelope in the house and she's connecting with us from Australia. So thank you, Penelope, for connecting with us. I know it's early in the morning there for you, but you know, the beauty about this business is this technology that it doesn't matter where people are in the world, we can still connect with them, right? At different times, but we can still do it. And thank you to Zoom for that.
We used
Uh,
to get up at 4 in the morning to do Zooms for Australia. And I think when Steve was in Utah and he had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it changed to Australia is now going to get it in the morning and we're going to do it at night. So
yes.
this coming Tuesday, get the word out, Penelope. We're going to be doing the presentation Tuesday evening, so it'll be Wednesday morning your time. So that's
I'll send you that banner, okay, to make sure you have it.
And for those of you
Okay.
that have friends and family over in Western Europe, we're going to be doing that presentation as well on Tuesday afternoon
Or
around,
or for anybody here in the States, because it'll be at
well,
three
yeah,
o'clock for the States.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, our time. It'll be about 5 in the morning for Penelope, I think. So anyway, we highly recommend that you get something to jot notes with or have something you can do screenshots with as we're going along because we are recording this. It's going to go quick, and then we're going to open it up for you guys to ask whatever questions that you need to.
Okay, so let's get started. What we wanted to discuss today was the qualifications in the back office for the different ranks because it's something that I've been working with some of our team members, and it's really important that you guys, begin to understand it because as you become leaders, you want to make sure that your group can understand it too. And it's not that it's difficult once you see how it all works. So the way I look at it, it's almost like one thing affects the other, right? So we're talking about when you open your back office, right? And you go into your back office, you go to your dashboard. And um, in that dashboard, you will see where you are and what your next rank is. Okay. So for this example, as you can see on the page, you can see that the person is an active brand partner, right? And they're 100% to one-star manager. So what does it take to be an active brand partner? I'm going to go over that only because there's people that are new on this call tonight. To be an active brand partner, you have to have 55 points. So you see that left circle, it has to have a 55. But when you're going to be a manager, you have to have 110. That is the number of your personal orders.
Or your
Whatever
customer.
you order during the month, or the combination of your orders and your customers' orders. Okay, that's what that circle represents. So in this example, you can see that the person needed 110 points. It tells you on the right of the circle, and the person ended up having 200 and what is that, 31? David, I can't see.
231.
231. Okay. So that's why that circle is green. If the person had not accomplished that, the circle would be blue. Okay. So it is green because it is a green check. They did that. The second circle is the qualified downline volume. That means your orders and whoever you enroll's orders and their customers and your customers. It's like the whole shebang of your team, right? So in this example, for the person to be a one-star manager, they needed 750 points. Well, as you can see, that the green circle has
15,000.
15,000, over 15,000. So therefore, that circle is green. Okay. So when I look at this screen, I know that person has now achieved the one-star manager rank. Do you see that? Go back. Okay. Want to make sure that everybody gets that. Okay.
And this line that you see across the top that's blue is blue all the way across.
Correct. So now we're going to go to another scenario. So now the person is an active brand partner, but they're trying to get to one-star manager. You see where it says 40% on the page? Okay. So a one-star manager has to enroll one left and one right brand partners. All brand partners must be active with a minimum of 700 points of QDV, which that is the group volume of your team. So in this example, as you can see, the left circle, the person achieved the 110 that was needed because they have 154. So that's why that circle is green, okay? The next circle that you see where it says 154 and it's partially blue and the rest is all not blue, okay, they needed 750 points and they only had 154. So as you can see the writing underneath, we have they needed 750, they only have 154, so therefore they need 596 of volume in their group in order for that circle to turn completely blue. I mean, to turn completely green. I'm sorry. And what happens is, just to give you an example of how easy that could be, if anyone in her team enrolls two advanced packs, two people on advanced packs, each advanced pack brings 300 points, right? Of personal volume points. So therefore, two advanced packs would be 600. So that requirement would be done. Now, that could be that the person enrolls them themselves, or it could be that anybody in the team enroll them themselves. You see, it doesn't matter if it's your left leg or your right leg, it's your whole group that has to provide you with an additional 596 points. Does everybody get that? Okay, so we're going to move on because now it starts to get a little bit harder. Can you move that down? Okay, there you go. Okay, so now in this example, we're going from the person's now a one-star manager. That's what it says on the left. Okay, and they're working towards a two-star manager, and it says there's 75 there. You see how that blue line is like 75%, to the page? Okay, so in this example, the circle on the left, they need 110. Remember, from the moment you go to hit manager, you have to be at 110. Okay, so just remember that's standard all the way across until you get to the executive level. So in this example, the person needed 110. They have 132. So therefore, the circle turned green. They accomplished it. But in the second circle, they needed 1,500. You see, now we went from 750 that was needed for the one-star manager to 1,500. So you're having to double your business each step of the way. This comp plan, David Schmidt was brilliant with this because he forces you to whatever you did, now you got to do it double, to get to the next rank. So in this example, we have 1,500. That's what was needed. The person has 1,002. So therefore, they need 498 more points in their group. Again, that could be solved easy with two advanced packs. Right. I'm just giving you an example. It could be,
whatever combination
three
works.
core packages. It could be, whatever works. Okay. I just use the advanced because I know the advanced is 300 points. So it makes it easier for you guys to see how by someone in your group, you or someone in your group, enrolling just two people on advanced packs, that circle would then be finished, and this person would now be a two-star manager. Now, here we go. Now the person here is a two-star manager, and they're going to go for a three-star manager. Well, as you can see now, there's three circles instead of just the two that you saw before. See, you can't see that until you're here, right? So again, in this example, the person on the first circle, the personal volume circle, needed 110. They have 383. So therefore, that has been accomplished. The circle turned green. The second circle is the qualified downline volume. Now, instead of 1,500, now you need 2,500 in your group, okay? So in this example, the person has 1919. So when you subtract 1919 from the 2,500 that is needed, you still need 581 points in your group. Again, if anyone enrolled 2 advance packs of 300 points each, that would get that circle to green. You see how this works? Now, the third circle is a very important circle because now this has been added to the 3-star manager. So in order for a person to be a 2-star manager, can you bring that down? In order for the person to be a 2-star manager, from a 2-star manager to a 3-star manager, they need 2 brand partners on the left and 2 brand partners on the right with a minimum of 2,500 in their entire group. But they need one more thing. They need 1 personal brand partner with a minimum of 1,000 total downline volume. What does that mean? That means that you personally had to sponsor somebody that somebody's team created 1,000 points for you. Okay. So if you sponsor 3 people, well, at least one has to provide 1,000 for you. Okay. So that's I just want to make sure that everybody gets clear on that. And that has been accomplished. And you see that circle turned green for this example. Now we're going on to the next. Okay. This is where it gets really exciting. From first, before I go on, becoming a 3-star manager is very, very important. And I encourage all of you that if you're not there yet, that you need to get there. And there's a reason for that. Yes. Because when you get to the first, one of the reasons is as you advance, in this new comp plan and these enhancements that we talked about last week, each time you go up a rank, your percentage changes, right? In your ability to earn money in the different bonuses. But when you hit 3-star manager, now that unlocks the door of the binary bonus that you cannot get as a 1-star manager. You cannot get it as a 2-star manager. It begins at 3-star manager. So I want everybody on our team to make it to 3-star manager at least, because now you get to be able to take part of that other bonus. Okay. So very important. Even if you're brand new and you begin, your goal needs to be go get to 1-star manager, get to 2-star manager, and at least get to 3-star manager. Not that I want you to stop there, but I'm just saying you want to at least get there to help pay for your product. Okay. Because that's what it's going to take to get you there. So now in this example, okay, the person's a 3-star manager, and now we're going to go for the 1-star director. Well, the 1-star director is a very interesting level. Why? Because there's a bonus attached to achieving that. And that bonus is $500. It's called the breakthrough bonus. You cannot get it unless you hit 1-star director. Okay. And that's a one-time bonus that you get. They pay you $250 when the week that you hit it, you're entitled to that $250. And then you have to hold it. You have to be paid as a 1-star director for 4 additional weeks. They do not have to be consecutive, but you do have to hit it for 4 additional weeks. And when you do that, you will then get your other $250.
They're so generous with that. They give you 1 year to get your other 4 weeks. That's a long time. Most companies, I've never seen anybody give me
exactly
that long.
But the thing is that, you know what? It's nice that they do that, because that way you're just, you're getting your business off the ground, and it's nice that you're going to be compensated, for doing that, right? So as you help others on your team advance, then it's going to be easier for you to hold that 1-star director level, right? For those 4 additional weeks.
Since you said that, down at the bottom of this white screen, you'll read these words: volume figures displayed are based on a rolling 31-day period. That's so important because just because you did something last month doesn't mean it's carrying you this month. Everything has to be maintained. That's why monthly subscription is so important that everybody gets on monthly subscription when they enroll. It's way too easy to get off. It's a lot harder to get on it later because you've got to fill out everything all over again. Just so much easier just to go in your back office and hit stop if they don't want it. But by the time it's due, most people found out they really like the product. So it's a lot nicer just to put them on it, tell them that, prior to their 30th day, let me know how you're doing with it and we'll continue it or we'll turn it off.
And another thing, corporate uses 31 days, but I use 30 days for a reason because um, there's some months that don't have 31 days, right? Most months except February have 30 days. And so for me, it's easier that if you just set your mind that if the 5th of the month you place your order, then the 5th of next month you have to, have an order, right? And that stops all this calculation. Or is it 31 days that I have to add? Make it simple for yourself and just work on the 30 days. It's so much easier.
We've had
Um,
people that said, no, 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 I'll manage it myself. I'll keep track. And then when they lost 250,000 points,
they weren't happy.
they were not happy.
Because very important for those that are new. If you do not order I'm going by 30 days, corporate goes by 31. But if you do not order, if you do not place an order of at least 55 points, your points that have been accumulated for you will be flushed.
Well, here's why.
Okay.
When you order, you're considered an active brand partner. When you quit, you're no longer active.
Yeah.
You quit. You're not active. Basically, the computer thinks you quit. So if you've quit, the computer doesn't have to do anything for you anymore. So it erases everything you have.
Right.
And so every time it sees that you're no longer active, it just assumes that you quit and eliminates everything that was regarding you. So don't quit.
And also, the thing is this, can you go back to that other page? Thank you. The thing is this, that, um, you know, I look at points as dollars so that I don't want anybody in my team to lose points because that means you lost dollars. Okay. This is like a bank account. As you earn those points, it's like being stashed away for you until you use it, until you get paid on it. When you get paid on it, they subtract those points that they paid you on and they leave whatever's left. So you want to make sure you always, always save those points. Okay.
Build it up.
Yes. Okay, so here we go with this example. For a 3-star manager to a 1-star director, you need 2 brand partners on the left and 2 brand partners on the right, minimum, with a minimum of 5,000 group volume. Okay, remember we were at 2,500, for 3-star. Now it doubled to 5,000. But this requirement, you can only have a maximum of 2,500 coming from one personal leg, brand partner leg. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to show you in a minute what it means because it's important that you understand this. Minimum of 2 personal brand partners with a minimum of 1,000 total volume. So that means if you enrolled 5 people, you need at least 2 of those 5 people to produce 1,000 points for you each. Okay. Then it says minimum of 1,000 total downline volume, which is the OLL, which is, for me, I always look at it as other than your highest 2 personal legs. And I'm going to show you an example of that. Then you also need a minimum of 1,000 total downline volume from your left binary and your right binary side.
It comes from your personal
That
business.
comes from your personal business. That is not the volume that is from the running leg, that you might have points from somebody else that's been added below you or whatever. No, this is your personal binary legs. And then all brand partners have to be active in order to qualify you. Okay, that's just a standard. Okay, so as you can see, now there's 5 circles. Remember, we started with 1, then 2, then all the way. Now we're at 5, okay? And this 5 stays all the way to the top of the company. So that's why I want to make sure that everybody gets this from the get-go, because once you understand this, then you can start working towards, going up in rank all the way up, all the way up to 3-star presidential. It's the same circles. It's just the requirements are different, the amounts are different. Okay. So in this example, you're going to see that the leg on the left, the furthest to the left, again, needed 110 personal volume. This person has 231. So therefore, that circle has been checked off. They've accomplished it. It's green. The next circle, qualified downline volume. Remember, this is where we need 5,000, right? But 5,000 total from your order, their orders, their customers, everybody's orders. In this example, the person has 2272. So they are short 2728. They still need 2,728 points. But remember, there's another requirement for that 5,000, that only 2,500 can come from one personal team leg. So as you can see, this person number 1 is the top line. Okay, that person is producing 1408. So therefore, you can, in this example, if this was me, right, then I could still get 1,092 from that person and still be within my 2,500. Do you see that? Because you take the 1408, you subtract it from the 2,500, and that's where I got the 1,092. Okay, so that person can produce for me still 1,092. Remember, I needed 2728. Okay, so therefore, I'm going to help that person, the person that's 1408. I'm going to help that person with somebody in her downline or their downline to see if I can help her generate some points to be able to go towards that 2728. Okay, so what happens if I get the whole 1,092 from the first person? Well, I'm still short, because remember, I needed 2728, and I can only use 1,092 from that first person. So that means that the rest of the points that I'm short would have to come from the rest of my team. Okay, from person number 2, person number 3, person number 4. Do you understand that? So it's critical that you see how that mechanism works.
But when you're
Okay.
heading for a 1-star director, they automatically identify your 2 largest legs, regardless if they've hit the numbers that they can max out at. So in this case, they've they've targeted 1408 as one of your largest legs and 325 as one of your largest legs. So those 2 are considered your 2 largest legs, and the rest of the volume has that they say is the OLL, the other leg volume. Uh, it has to come from other legs than those 2. So
So on circle number 3, because Dave just explained circle number 4, but circle number 3, if you can, do you go to the next screen on that? There you go. So circle number 3 is you need 1,000 total downline volume from 2 of your personals that you enrolled. Okay, so 2 personal legs. And this example, you see that person number 1, the 1408 person, they achieved it because 1408 is bigger than 1,000. That's why it has a green check. But you see person number 2 that is only providing you 325, they have a red X because they haven't reached 1,000 yet. Okay, so if I was looking at this, I would go to that person number 2 and I would say, hey, what can I do to help you let's get your business, up and running. Or is there someone that I can talk to for you to help you, get some more points? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to help that person number two to get some extra points. All right. Either help them get to manager, whatever the situation is. Now, that person number two might not even be building the business. That person number two could just be ordering product, right? But you could still approach them and say, what could I do to help you, get your product for free?
Well, if you could look at their volumes, you go to the binary tree, click on their name, and then look at their volumes. You can see these, and then you can see where to help them. That's why
Correct.
we're teaching you this, so that you can go and look and you can see how to help your team where they need help. Because just telling somebody, hey, you need to start producing X number of points doesn't help them.
No, no, no. You gotta show them, what to do. And, and listen, at the
And why
beginning,
it's going to benefit them.
right. At the beginning, you guys, you can definitely call us and we're going to help you with this. But what I'm saying is that sometimes people don't even realize that they're that close to being able to get their
We
product
had
for free.
somebody that was 1 point away from a rank and
Yes.
had no idea.
Yes.
1 point.
So, don't assume that your team knows, right? You're going to check this on a regular basis to be able to help them, because every step of the way that you could help them rank up, that means that they're going to get a little bit more money, right? Because they're going to be able to cash in on those enhancements that have been added. So that's circle number three. Now we're going to go to circle number four, which is the outside leg volume. Corporate calls it outside leg. I like to call it other than your top two legs.
If
It
you
makes more
notice,
sense to me that way.
when you click on the wording over here next to that circle, you notice the two largest legs are red and there's a zero next to them because they've been removed from what you would call other than your largest two legs volume. That's that
Right.
OLL.
There's a zero because you can't count them. Even if they provided for you 10,000 points, you can't count them because they're your top two legs,
But you
right?
can count them up to 2,500
Not
each.
for this
Not for the
circle.
outside leg,
No,
no.
not for this circle.
That outside leg, or other than your two largest legs, volume is where you bring in your new people. It's where you have a bunch of customers, and it's where you go and talk to those people.
Okay, before you move this,
Okay.
as you can see, the lettering that David was showing where that red arrow is, okay, because some of you don't know this. When you click on that, if you are on your phone, it shows up at the top. So you have to kind of push the screen down so you can see this, the all the people that are providing the points, for you. Okay. If you're on your computer, it shows it, some show it on the side, some show it on the top,
It
right?
just pops up in the middle of
In
your
the middle,
screen.
yeah. So it depends on whether you're on your phone or your computer, because a lot of you, were clicking on it and saying it's not opening. And it is. You just have to look for it either on the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. Okay. So very important to that. So as you can see in the example, before we go on the outside leg volume, the person has 539 inside the circle. They need 1,000, right? Total. So you subtract 539 from the 1,000, and that gives you 461 that is still left. So that means that person number 3, 4, and 5, where it says 154, 154, and 231, okay, they have to total up to 461 in order for that circle to go green. And another point regarding this circle, that corporate is so generous that they let you use your own volume for your own orders. You see where it says personal volume on the bottom? That is this person's orders, their own orders. So they're paying you on your own orders, basically. Okay.
Anything over
Anything,
110.
yeah. Well, you're seeing that the 231 is being added to the requirement here. Okay. So now we're up to the fifth circle. Okay. This is where the binary comes into play. because everybody says to me, all right, what happens to the binary? Okay, here you are. You can see it here. You can't see it when you're in the manager levels, but now it shows up here. And in this example, well, you need 1,000, minimum of 1,000 from your personal enrollment brand partners on each binary side, on your left and on your right. Okay, in this example, when we clicked on the letters to the right of the circle, these two screens on the bottom showed up, and it shows the left binary numbers and it shows the right binary numbers.
It doesn't matter if you have a total of 1,000,000 points over there. What matters is what's being generated from your personal team.
From your personal team, exactly. So, as you can see in this example, we need 1,000, right, on each side. On the left binary total, there's 1562. So that side has been done. You see how it shows the left is green? It's complete. But on the right, it's only, you know, maybe a third of the way complete because you need 1,000, but they only have 479. So therefore, this person is short 521 points on their right binary side. So if I was looking at this and I was working with one of our brand partners, I would say, okay, where we're going to work is we're going to work on the people that are on your right side. We're going to get that number up to 1,000. Okay. So once I get that number up to 1,000, the 521 that are left, that circle becomes complete. But that 521 points is added to the second circle. So remember there, we needed whatever it was, 20, I don't remember what the number was exactly we needed on that second one, but it gets added. We needed
27, 28.
2728. So of the 2728 that we needed, we just got 521 when we completed that binary side. You see, all the circles interface with one another. Okay. So if I looked at this and I was working with a brand partner, the first thing that I would address would be, let's fix the right binary side. Let's see where we can generate some points there. Who can we help? Who can we help get to manager? Who can we help get to two-star manager? Who can we help, and go that way. And once we've accomplished that, then I look at the circle number 4. And circle number 4, like we talked about, was other than your 2 top people, other than your 2 top teams. Then, like that. So each thing connects with the other. And once you do this a few times, you get really familiar with it, that you could probably do it in your sleep. But I know now for some of you, this is the first time you've ever seen this because you've never seen the whole screen like we're showing you. Okay. But it's important that you at least get familiar with it. You don't have to understand it completely. Corporate's going to pay you whether you understand it or not. I promise you that. But it would be nice if you at least knew the strategy of how it works. Because if, for example, and that happened to somebody on our team, if you work, let's just say you spend time in this example, if this person spent time on their left side,
it wouldn't be helping them.
And they enrolled people on their left side, and they didn't enroll somebody on the right side, that circle would not go green. They put their effort on the wrong side. Okay. So I want to make sure that's why I call this a strategy. And for those of you that have been working with me, we've been going over this. You need to pay attention to where do you need the points in order for that circle to get colored green. Okay. And that's what I'm here for. That's what David's here for. We're going to guide you along the way. And like I have said before, we are at a level of 1-star executive. I know how we got there. I know what it takes to get there. And it's a lot of points. It's 40,000. So if you think 5,000 is a lot, 40,000 is a lot. Okay. But I can get you
But
there.
our next step is 100,000.
Our next step is 100. So, it's like
And
unbelievable.
we've been conditioned already to say, okay, This is what we got to do. Let's get out there and do it. And the best thing you could ever do for yourself is enroll people and help them advance. Those two things. The more people you enroll, the more people you can help advance, the faster your business grows. That is the key to this business.
Absolutely. And you know what? The thing is that now that corporate has these enhancements, that they've added, and like we mentioned last week, guys, you got to run for this. You got to run to get these ranks so that you can get these percentages.
Just make the point with them, or I'll do it right now. They're paying you percentages based on levels. The first level is how many people have you put in?
I'm taking a picture. So I wanted to get a picture. Okay.
The first is what you personally put in. So if you do what Steve said and you put 20 left and 20 right, there's 40. If you help them all go to manager, that 40 just multiplied times four.
Right.
Do you see what I'm talking about? That's 160 people that you're getting the second level bonus on. And the third level, multiply that times four.
So this thing can add up fast, but I just want you guys to, I know you're going to have a lot of questions about what we showed tonight. Don't worry, we're going to go over it again. This is just the first. Some of you
we're
have never
recording
seen
it,
it.
so
Yes.
and I'm not recording the whole evening so that you don't have to listen to a very long thing. So I'm going to end the recording now.